some of the things that I have done as it relates to my decision to eliminate alcohol or to reevaluate my relationship are some of the things that I think that we can use in any area of our life, especially with our real estate businesses.
Hey friends, I'm Rosemary Lewis, your homegirl, and I'm so excited that you are here. I do not care what it looks like on Instagram or HGTV. This whole being a realtor thing is not for the faint at heart. In 2017, I quit my job as a teacher to follow my real estate dreams and quickly found myself overwhelmed and struggling. Fast forward to today, not only have I been recognized as one of the leaders in our industry, I have actually grown a business that I absolutely love. I don't care if you're a brand new agent trying to figure out how to get started or a veteran feeling overwhelmed and just stuck. I was just like you, and I totally get it. Many times I wish there was someone that I could just talk to about all the challenges I was facing. And that is why I created this space just for you. Like best friends do, I'm giving you all the tea related to navigating and thriving in these real estate streets. If I can do it, guess what? That's proof that you can too. Everything's better with friends, so let's succeed together. Welcome to the Real Estate Bestie podcast.
Besties, welcome to the podcast. And, welcome to 2024. This is episode number 114. And I am so excited. I know I always say that, but I'm so excited to be here with you and to just kick off another year of amazing with the Real Estate Bestie community. And you already know we have so many cool things coming up this year, but I just really want to tell you happy 2024. I'm so excited for what God has in store for me and for you this year. And I hope that it's off to a really fantabulous start. Now, I'm going to tell you, mine is off to a good start, but there was a little bit of pivoting that needed to be done. My baby, the flu and the stomach bug and all that stuff is going around. So this morning I was so like, okay, I've been goal setting and planning and putting my systems and my actions in place on how I want everything to look this year. And, this morning I was going to be in the office bright and early, and Cameron has a stomach bug, right? He had one more day out of school. So he had a stomach bug last night. So I was up all night, just helping him because I'm not going to get graphic, but let me just tell you, it was a mama night. I was somebody's mama helping them all night. So as a result, look, I had to be honest with myself. Like, girl, you are not going to be good to anybody waking up at 5 a.m. trying to be in the office. So I had to shift some things for my day. And I will be honest to say the old me, I would have been very annoyed by the inconvenience. But if 2023 taught us anything, it's that sometimes life be lifing. Actually, since 2020, I feel like we've been learning that lesson, right? Life be lifing, and we have to pivot. So I just shifted some things around for the day, and voila, here I am recording this podcast with you. So before I get started, I just want to shout out all of the besties over in the Facebook community. I see you. I see y'all over there sharing tips, asking questions. If you are not yet a part of our Facebook group, head on over to rosemarylewis.com/Facebook so that you can get to know some besties virtually, right? Especially before we have our retreat. It's a really cool place to be. So, all right, let's get into our topic for today. And really, I struggle with what to name this episode. And honestly, I still don't know what I'm going to call it. Let's just see what I say. And then voila, you're going to have a title by the time you're listening. But really, I was just really thinking through the turn of the new year. And let's be honest, for me, this morning in my journal, I wrote that 2023 was both the best and the worst of times. And I had to clean that up because after I really started going through and logging the great things that happened and then the other things that I wish didn't happen, I had to reword it to say, it wasn't the worst, but it definitely wasn't the greatest. And there was definitely a lot of pivoting. There was definitely a lot of lessons, both professionally and personally for me. And I know for you too. And, I don't even want to say it is what it is. I think every year you get to take something away and decide how you're going to enter into the next year or the next season. Now, one thing that I will tell you all that I'm really, really proud of this year. As a matter of fact, there is one thing that has been kind of on my goals, on my vision, on my boards, and I've shared it with you before for a couple of years. And this year, I've actually been able to make some traction. And that is number one, identifying my relationship with alcohol. And then two, making the decision that I wanted to change it. And then three, actually doing something about it. So if you have been rocking with me for a while, if episode 114, well, listen, if episode 114 is your first one, welcome, Bestie. But if you have been here for a little while, I have mentioned on the podcast before that, in the past year, I just started to decide, and not just alcohol, like, what are some things that are part of my life, like evaluating, is it serving, number one, who I am, and serving who I desire to be? And, one thing that consistently started to show up for me, especially as I have entered my George W. Bush year, right? If you don't know that I'm 43, George W. Bush was the 43rd president. It's a whole story. You got to scroll back to my birthday episode. I think it was released on September 26th. I explained all about that. I'll link it here. But, I just started to notice that there are some habits that I had that were no longer serving me. But because a lot of times we are creatures of habit, we continue to do things. We want to change, but I don't know if it's, we're so stuck in the way we've always done stuff that we're not willing to change, and we don't know how to change. And for me, that's what my relationship with alcohol would look like. So I do want to preface this is that, I thank the Lord that I don't think that I had, quote unquote, a drinking problem. Now, full disclosure, I did come from a family with alcohol abuse. My father, he struggled with alcohol majority of his life. When I turned like 14, 15, something like that. Y'all, my daddy has been sober for over 30 years now, or close to 30 years now, I should say. And like, when I tell you that drinking was a whole issue. So I knew that I had the trait, but it never manifested itself in the same ways that it did with my dad and, things like that. But I did find myself, like me and my husband, we are about date night. So I would find myself cocktailing, literally Friday. Like I could not drink Monday through Thursday or Sunday through Thursday. But the minute like Friday lunchtime hit, I'm like, where we at? We on somebody's patio having a margarita. Prosecco was my drink of choice. And it's all good, right? Until it wasn't. Okay. And not to go into too much detail, but I just figured out that it wasn't serving me, right? I'm feeling bloated. I have to drink too much to actually feel a buzz. My bills at the restaurant were just too high. And I just really started to ask myself, okay, why are you even drinking? And started to entertain the idea of not drinking as much, right? Or giving myself breaks. So I would take a 30-day break. I would, do Sober October. I would do these challenges. And kind of the end of last year, I did a challenge for 30 days. And then I decided to add another 30 days. And then I decided to add another 30 days. And y'all, I am going into this new year being alcohol free for more days than I can remember since high school, with the exception of like being pregnant. And why am I bringing this all up to you? Y'all, like, this is a real estate podcast. How does this relate? And I'm going to tell you how it relates. Because getting through, the holidays in particular, a lot of these social events where I normally would have felt pressure to drink. Y'all, we had a whole party at our house, invited 100 people. It was popping. That was like my thing. Like, I was like, if I can get through this party without drinking, then it might be something to it, right? Like I might need to really explore what this looks like for me. And I was able to get through it. And you all, I am walking into the new year feeling like a superhero. And I'm going to tell you why I feel like a superhero. And it's honestly bigger than the actual alcohol, right? Like if I, like, let's sub it. Like, let's say I was talking about scrolling social media or eating sugar or negative self-talk, like whatever the thing is, I made a promise to myself that I was going to make an effort to eliminate this from my life right now. And it feels so good not to break this promise to myself. I don't know. Maybe we'll title the episode. I don't know. But it feels so good not to break this promise to myself. And because I haven't broken the promise to myself, I now feel empowered, right, to look at other areas of my life where you start every new year with the same kind of things from the year previously that you want to change, but they haven't changed, right? But since now I have evidence on this whole drinking deal, that you know what, I can change. Like, this is a behavior that I've had for a very long time, right? Even before I was 21. And I've been able to make some modifications. Okay, so where else can I make some promises to myself and follow through and not break them? And some of the things that I have done as it relates to my decision to eliminate alcohol or to reevaluate my relationship are some of the things that I think that we can use in any area of our life, especially with our real estate businesses. Because listen, y'all, I hope that your 2024 intentions, I hope that your goals, I hope that your vision includes making yourself proud of how you show up in your business. And I'm saying I hope because this is what I know. I know that for a lot of people, especially with the last year and with interest rates and with fickle buyers and with just the fact that the market is what it is anyway, I know that there are some of the besties who aren't even like, we're not even going to put a goal down. Right. Or we just kind of want to say, like, we don't want to disappoint ourselves. So it's easier to not even say what we want than to say what you want or to say what you desire, and then you show up disappointed. And first of all, I want to say I see you, right? I'm going to call it out because I see you. I have done the same thing. And is it okay? It's okay, but that you are there now, but we don't want to stay there. We want to move past that. And let's just say we've all felt that way, right? You want to say, I want to lose 25 pounds, or you want to say, I'm going to go and do this thing or that thing. But because, it's almost easier not to name it than to name it and to be disappointed. And I see you. But this is what I hope. I hope that you are getting to the point where you're saying, you know what? The fact that you're showing up to the Real Estate Bestie podcast tells me that you want some things for your business and your life, right? This is what I know about you, because who's listening to a podcast with their real estate bestie if you don't want that, right? You're not just trying to come over here and hear about my life. I mean, it's all right, but we really want to grow your life and your business. So there are a couple of things, because I was really thinking through, okay, why this time? Because I've tried to limit my alcohol intake before, but what was different about this time? What was different about my approach this time that now has me feeling successful? And how can we apply that to any area of our life, including showing up differently in our business, right? And I don't care where you are in business, right? I sell a lot of real estate, but I still want to show up a little bit differently to level it up. And I was thinking through, okay, the same stuff that I did in this alcohol-free journey are some of the same things that I need to continue to do to build my business. So here's the first one. We need to get some help. You need to get help from the people who have achieved what you want. This is the key, okay? And for me, and I'm going to define this a little bit, because, it can come in the form of direct mentorship, but you got to be savvy. So I'll give you a great example. So in my alcohol-free journey, I decided that I'm going to start like my podcast list. I'm listening to, like, there are so many sober mom groups and, like alcohol free mocktail mamas and all this stuff. So like I started listening to these different podcasts that speak like that. I started following, like, my Instagram feed is now following people who have already achieved what it is that I'm looking to achieve. And then also I just started to look at people around me, right, who alcohol is just not a part of their life. I have a really good friend. She's a real estate bestie. One of the biggest, boldest personalities I've ever met in my life. Like, you can tell me not that she was drunk, but like, she's so bold that I'm like, girl, you gotta like have a little liquid courage. But no, she stopped drinking in college because she used to black out and stuff like that, right? So my point is that I've gotten help, and not help in the sense of like, I was not to the point where I was like needing to go to a AA meeting, but just I am So creating an environment where there are people who have done what I'm looking to do. And I have some direct sources of support like my friend, and then I have some indirect sources of support like these podcasts, like a couple books that I'm listening to on Audible, like my Instagram feed. So getting some help from people who've actually done what you're looking to do is going to be a game changer. So as it relates to your real estate business, who can you glean from, right? Is there mentorship? Do you need to pay a coach? Is there a course you should take? Hint, we're going to talk about Real Estate Bestie Academy because a lot of the things I'm talking about we have there. But even if Real Estate Bestie Academy isn't the best fit for you, what are some other things that you can be doing to get the help? Is your Instagram feed full of people buying clothes, or are you looking at people who are doing creative things in their business, right? So getting some help. Besties, I'm going to interrupt this episode really quickly because y'all, we officially have a devotional that is going out to everyone in the Real Estate Bestie community every single Sunday. Now, why do we need a devotional in real estate? Well, let me just tell you this. I have realized in my life that I need Jesus in every aspect of my life, especially my business. And it literally dropped in my spirit one day that if this is what I need, then other people need it too. And I couldn't find it. So guess what? We are creating it for our real estate besties. So if you want to make sure that you get a weekly devotional where we tie in what we do every single day in business and how we can use that to impact the way that we are walking in our spiritual life, then head on over to rosemarylewis.com/list so that you can get that devotional delivered to you every single Sunday. All right, back to the podcast. Okay, here's the second thing. Accountability. Accountability is huge. Now, you might be saying, well, you said get help. Well, listen, your coach is not always your accountability partner. Those are two totally different things. This is why I'm always encouraging us to link arms, get in the Real Estate Bestie Facebook group, show up at events, meet new people, meet new realtors that you can link arms with that are working towards the same goal, because you all can hold each other accountable. So let me tell y'all something really, and this is a great example. So I have been making these commitments to until the beginning of this year to be alcohol free, like 30 days at a time, right? So I'll be like, okay, I'm doing 30 days, I'm doing 30 days, I'm doing 30 days. So in December, I'm laughing at myself because in December, it's 31 days, right? And I made the commitment to go 30 days in December, and I'm on the phone with one of my girlfriends, and we are actually making brunch plans for the 31st. So I'm having this party at my house on the 30th, but we're going to go to brunch on the 31st. So I was like talking to her, and I was like, hey, if we go here, maybe I'll treat myself to the espresso martini because I like the espresso martini. And do you know what my friend said to me, who has not necessarily made a commitment, right, to being alcohol free, but she knows my commitment? She said, absolutely not. We absolutely will not let you order an espresso martini. And if it is going to be too much of a trigger, too much of a distraction for you, we can choose a different restaurant. Because if you've made it this far and you know it's not serving you, then we are not going to entertain something that's not serving you. And in that split second, y'all, her accountability brought me back to reality. She wasn't shaming me. She wasn't making me feel less than, but she reminded me, because I have brought people into this journey with me. She reminded me of what it is I'm supposed to be doing. So let's flip that to your real estate business. Where can you, because here's the thing, your broker, all these people are not going to be tapping on you to say, hey, did you make your calls today? Hey, have you reached out to your sphere? Hey, have you shown up on social media? Hey, have you sent your emails? Have you created nobody's going to do that. Okay. But if you have a friend and you all are working towards a goal together, or at least you trusting enough to be vulnerable enough to say, hey, this is what I'm doing, just check in on me. That accountability piece is a game changer. Okay. Here's the next one. We have to practice for the moment. This is going to sound so crazy, but I have literally practiced for when I'm at a restaurant And because it's so interesting when you decide to do something like that's countercultural, right? In our culture, alcohol it's everywhere, right? And by the way, I'm not saying nothing's wrong with drinking. I'm saying it wasn't serving me, right? So I don't want anyone to think like this whole episode is about harping on drinking. It's about figuring out what's serving you and why are you doing the things that you're doing in your life. So anywho, in this culture, and not even this culture, the culture I've created for myself, again, I cocktail. I meet neighbors for wine walks, and me and my husband, we go on these date nights, and we're drinking, and all of it has always been a very natural part of my life. So I literally, y'all, had to practice for the moment, because when I'm in the moment and when the waiter says, "What are you drinking?" or when I'm with a friend and they pour a glass of Prosecco because they know I love it, I had to literally practice for what my response will be, because I don't want to make it weird for everybody else. Like, this is my thing. I'm not trying to make everybody do what I'm doing. But I literally had to practice so that in a split second, I did not fall off. And I'm going to tell you, I've learned to practice because this happened to me. For Halloween, I was not drinking the whole month of October, committed to 30 days, but Halloween is on the 31st. So on the 31st, I literally had a friend, like at their house, they were passing out some type of like sweet little shot. And she was like, "But today's the 31st day. You can have it. You did your 30 days. You did a good job." I didn't practice for the moment. And before I knew it, I drank that little thing on the 31st and it broke my streak, right? I would have been over 100 days alcohol free right now, but I didn't practice for the moment. So what I have learned is that practicing for the moment is going to be a game changer. But how does that relate to your real estate business? Okay. Are you practicing what you're going to say in different scenarios? Are you practicing how to handle objections? Are you role playing? Are you role playing with a coach, someone who has done what it is that you're looking to do, that can listen for just the little tweaks that need to be made, right? Because I'm gonna tell you, when I'm at a restaurant, I don't have to give a whole dissertation to the waiter on why I'm not, having a spicy pineapple margarita. I just had to make a little tweak, right? Hey, I would love to have a Topo Chico in a wine glass with a lime. I want to feel fancy. That's it, right? Just a little tweak changed the difference, and it helped me to be successful. So also for you in your business and other areas in your life, are you practicing for that moment of truth when you're going to have to decide how you're going to handle these situations? So practicing is a huge deal. Okay, here's another one. You have to create systems for success. Okay. So y'all, this whole alcohol-free life, it's a whole situation, right? What I've learned, like, they got fake tequila out here. They have, these, like I told you, they have different podcasts. They have, just different things to help support you. But then what I've realized is that now that I'm alcohol-free, like, some of the way that I do things in my life, I could do them a little bit different. I'll give you a great example. Like, this is so weird, but okay, let's just say it's a Saturday, right? On Saturdays, if I don't work out in the morning, then I'm like, it's a wrap, because I'm going to be at somebody's brunch, or I'm going to go on date night and I'm going to have a drink, and who's working out after drink? But a new system that I have is like, now I do some afternoon workouts, right? I purposely put some workouts in the afternoon because now I don't have to plan around cocktailing. This is a system that I have in place that will allow me to be successful, okay? And there are just some other little tweaks, some other little things about how I go about my day that I have put into it, especially in these social settings. What is my system? Like, I'm going to focus on conversation. I'm going to focus on meeting people and looking them directly in the eye. Like, I'm not going to be thinking about, okay, what's going to be my next drink? I'm enjoying food more. Like, all of these different systems that I have in place are supporting me on my journey of my decision to be alcohol free right now. Same thing with your business, right? What are the systems that you need to have in place that will make following through, showing up for the moment, what's going to make that easier, right? A few systems that I think you absolutely have to have is, you have to have ironclad routines. Like, what is your morning routine? What does your night routine look like? You need to understand When are you reaching out to your sphere of influence? When are you reaching out to your past clients? How are you having these conversations? What are you saying? When are you calling them? What are you saying when you call them, right? What is the system to make sure that you're touching all of these different people? Because every real estate closing starts with a real estate conversation. But if we're not being systematic, and listen, I know somebody's like, oh my Lord, I don't have no, it's okay, right? And let me just break this down. Your system is really just your process, okay? What is your process? A lot of times we have processes. Now, our process may need to be refined so that we can see more conversion, so that we can see more traction. But what are the processes that you follow so that you can get to the success state, okay? And if you don't have processes, first of all, take a deep breath, right? I don't think many of us have come out with processes. But is this going to be the year that you stop saying, oh, I need some systems, oh, I need some processes, and actually invest your time and your energy into making those systems and processes work? Okay. So this is definitely one thing that is working in my alcohol-free journey. I definitely know it has worked in my real estate journey. Okay. And then here's the last one, y'all, is that I don't care how, all the other stuff really matters, right? It matters that I get the help from the people, that I have accountability, that I practice for the moment, that I have the systems. But like in the split second decision, this is what I told my husband, is that what I've learned with anything in life, and especially with this journey that I'm on right now, is that in the moment when I have the opportunity to choose to break the promise to myself, right? I have an opportunity to either keep the promise to myself or break the promise. It's like a nanosecond decision. What am I going to do? Right. So when I give you, like, I can think of one time I was trying to be alcohol free a couple years ago, and I was at a birthday party, and everybody, like, they pulled out a bottle of champagne and they start pouring, and I was like, you know what, YOLO, when am I ever gonna, girl, you could have put some Topo Chico. But in that split decision, I decided that momentary, that satisfaction for the moment was bigger than me keeping the promise to myself. And I'm not shaming myself, but I am identifying that it really took that one moment, right, changed me. And in that one moment, not only did I find myself drinking that champagne, then I went to the bar and I ordered a drink, and then I was just I was like just loose for the for the next however long, until I came back to my original thing of, hey, I want this to look different. So what does that have to do with your real estate career? Okay. Because we live in a world where it is so easy to be distracted. It's so easy to not be focused. It's so easy to say, okay, I'm going to sit down. I am going to make my calls for however many long. I am going to practice my scripts. I'm going to get on this role play call. But then in that split moment, you get distracted by social media, or someone calls, and instead of sending them a voicemail, because your cousin Keisha is just going to call you to talk about Aunt Bertha, instead of sending Keisha the voicemail, you decide to pick up that phone, and now your lead gen time has been taken, right? A lot of times it comes down to like what we decide to do quickly will dictate what happens long term for us. And this is what I'm just giving all of y'all all this information to say, I am so proud that, like, I have used these steps, and something that's been on my, I would really like my life to look like this list for a long time. I am literally in the new year like, okay, I have conquered this, right? I've proven to myself, I should say this, I've proven to myself that I have the power and the courage, that I'm bigger than this thing that has felt bigger than me. And for me, it's been the way that I cocktail. For you, it might be something else. Okay. And like now I'm taking this power from this experience into the new year, and I'm thinking, okay, where can I use these steps and level up in other areas of my life? And I know for a lot of you all, it may be, okay, am I going to lose weight? Am I going to think about these relationships that I have? Am I going to really evaluate? Like another one, I'm using these same steps. How am I spending my time? I need to separate from social media so much. And honestly, for a lot of you, it is, okay, how can I use these steps to make my real estate journey different? Okay. And here's the thing, y'all. And I struggle sometimes because I hate being sold to. And hear my heart, I'm not selling y'all anything, but the whole reason that we have Real Estate Bestie, the community, the podcast, is that I think to myself often, who did and do I need on this real estate journey? Okay. And for a lot of you all, if you're not in your head like, yes, I need accountability. Yes, I need to practice for the moment. Yes, I need to have some systems for success for my business. Then I'm going to tell you the next thing that you need to do, that I'm going to encourage you to do, is really consider joining us in Real Estate Bestie Academy. We're kicking off again in January. We're doing it in January because we want to set you up for success for the rest of the year. If for whatever reason you're listening to this later and we're not at an active session right now, you can always go to the website and get on the wait list. But if you are one of the ones that right now, it's the beginning of January in 2024, and you have an opportunity to finally be like I am on the other side of this alcohol journey, but in your business, and say, yes, I actually put these things in place. I got help from someone who understands, and not from someone who understands, but from someone who has actually done what I'm looking to do and is still doing it. Then I'm telling you, there's so much freedom on the other side. And I am looking for besties who are ready to, for once and for all, keep the promise to themselves. You have been promising yourself that you are going to not only show up for your business, but you're going to show up for your life. And I want to help you keep this promise to yourself and extend the opportunity for you to join us. So let me tell you who the Academy is for, okay? Because it's not for everybody. This is what I know. It is not for everybody, okay? It was not. A couple years ago, I was not ready to dismiss alcohol from my life because I just wasn't ready. And it's okay that I wasn't ready. But this academy is for you. If you're looking to go from being all overwhelmed and disorganized, you're sick of that life and you're ready to be laser focused on what will actually move the needle in your business, okay? You're ready to feel confident. You're ready to feel equipped to attract the right clients and build a multi-six-figure business. And by the end, you will have the systems. I promise you, you're going to have the systems in place to gain more clients, to secure more listings, and to make more money. But you know what's even better than that to me? Is you're going to have the systems and the support in place to finally keep this promise to yourself. And I'm telling you, I've achieved a lot, but being on the other side of not breaking promises to myself, it feels so darn good. And I'm bottling up all this energy that I have from what I've learned on this alcohol-free journey, and I'm taking it into 2024, and I'm saying, okay, now where else can I first make the promises to myself? Because remember, we talked about in the beginning, sometimes we don't even dare to make promises to ourselves. But where can I make the promises to myself, and where am I going to keep them? And if you're ready to promise yourself that, you know what, this is going to be the year that you stop blaming your broker, you stop blaming interest rates, you stop blaming the fact you're an introvert, you stop blaming the fact you're a woman, you stop blaming the fact that, I can keep going. You hear what I'm saying? But you're actually going to move the needle. And if you are shaking your head and you're thinking, you know what, the academy sounds right, then I invite you to explore it. Explore it. Let's see if it's a good fit. Go to rosemarylewis.com/academy. Course will start January 15th. If you see the wait list, get on the wait list. I promise you, when we open it up, you're going to be the first one to know about it. You're going to be the first one to be able to get in, and you're going to be the first one to be able to be a part of this experience and start keeping these real estate dream promises to yourself. Okay? All right, besties, have a absolutely wonderful week. I hope that this helped you, like even these steps, right? Whether you decide to join us in Real Estate Bestie Academy or not, I'm hoping that you do. But if not, I'm hoping that you can take these steps that I've shared with you on how I found success on the other side of this journey, and you can apply it to whatever journey you are embarking on this year. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
If you enjoyed this episode and you have a real life bestie that you think it would resonate with, Y'all, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that share button because you know what? We are better together. Make sure you share the podcast, and I appreciate your reviews. I appreciate you giving me 5 stars more than you know. I'll talk to you next week.